Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Lens of Truth with me, Ave Florentino, for today's video. So, June 13th marks exactly 7 years when Metroid Prime 4 was announced at Nintendo's E3 Direct in 2017. I know it's crazy to believe for all of us Nintendo fans and Metroid fans that it's been so long. The game was announced and then eventually 2 years later, it completely rebooted and started from scratch from what Nintendo had said. I just want to talk about if this game is going to be announced in the next Nintendo Direct, or the future of Nintendo's successor, the Switch 2, and just kind of speculate and have a wish list of what I want this game to be. So before we get started, if you're new to my channel, hit that like button, ring the bell if you like what you see, and let's get to it. So if you're new to my channel, one of my favorite things to do is draw, and that's actually what I do as a profession. I love creating fan art as well and combining it with a topic that I like to do with iconic video game designs. And over here on my channel, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, a huge Zelda fan, and especially Metroid. And now that we've had Metroid Fusion, Super Metroid, and the original Metroid for the NES, all available on the Nintendo Switch Online app, and also with the release of Metroid Prime Remastered, there's a lot of Metroid going on, but one of the biggest topics is Metroid Prime 4 has been missing in action for years, even to the point where Nintendo had to release a message that it was going to be delayed and had to restart completely. So as a fun idea, I decided to draw Samus playing on her Nintendo Switch as she's waiting for her own game to be released. So I thought this was fun to do. This is a fun idea. So this one, it started with a simple sketch on my tiny sketchbook. I then did a quick line art in black and white on my Procreate app, and then finally I colored it entirely. And then I even did a simple animation where just the light flickers on and off as she's playing the game. So originally this was just going to be a quick colored sketch on my tiny sketchbook, and this one I wasn't even thinking of doing it in digital color, but I just wanted to try it out and see how it would look in a completely clean digital form. So what I decided to do was take a nice high resolution photo of the drawing, which by the way was originally done in colored pencil with thin Micron and Faber-Castell ink pens. So after taking a photo, I transferred it to Procreate, where I traced over it with some medium outlines to have a very clean look. And then in another layer, I decided to add some of these thin strokes just to kind of give a little bit of a style that I like to do when I use pens. So it's a kind of digital version of a pen line work that I like to do. Then after adding some shadows, a bit more details, and making sure everything's clean, we have this black and white outline that looks pretty cool. And not only that, it makes it really simple to color by just dragging the colors from Procreate and filling it in easily. So anyone who uses Procreate on your iPad, I really like this time-lapse feature where it just goes pretty quick from beginning to end, and I really like how it looks as I'm coloring it in. And one of the things that made it really easy was to choose the basic colors of Samus, which is just orange, red, and green, and then just drag and drop them. And things like the green, pink, gray, and her arm cannon color, easy to do, just drag and drop. And then on another layer, I like to do a darker shadow and do it in a 50% transparency, or also use multiply to add that shadow look as well. And this is what gave Samus those shadows and some dimension. And towards the end, on a different layer, I added the highlights and light reflections. And this is another way to add some reflection and some dimension. And as a joke, I kind of had this type of quote-unquote bug spray for the Metroids, which is almost like a freezing type of bug spray, because all you Metroid fans know that Metroids are weak to ice, so that was pretty cool that I decided to just do that. Because you know, she can't be bothered as she's playing the Switch. And finally, I wanted to try out a simple animation by just moving her thumbs up and down and just having some in-between frames. Same thing with the light flickering on and off. I just wanted to see how that would look, and it actually turned out pretty okay. I like how it looks like she's playing the game. I wonder if she's playing her own games or a Zelda game or a Mario game. You tell me. So let's talk about the graphics. So very quickly, anyone who's played the Metroid series knows that the art style and the graphics have always been pushed to their limits, even back on the SNES where the pixels were really cool, they were very detailed, but it was mainly the 3D games like Metroid Prime 1 and 2, and even on the Wii. But it was on the GameCube where Metroid Prime really showed off what Retro Studios was capable of, and Nintendo. They went all out for this realistic look, but also a stylized sci-fi world, and it just worked. And now that we have a remaster for the Switch, this is the potential that Metroid Prime 4 is going for. So I can't wait to see that. Now, let's get on to one of the things that I want to see the most is how is the gameplay going to be and what is the structure of this entire Metroid Prime 4 world. Now, one of the last things that's really important is how is Metroid Prime 4 going to play? Will it have open world zones, open world environments? Will it be linear, or will it just go all out and have an entire open world where you can go wherever you like? Now, one of the things that I would like to see is to have things like we did in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, where you can fly to any planet as you unlock them, and even have huge worlds where you can just go on and discover different caves, different structures, and just run into enemies and bosses in the overworld. That would be really cool, but also still have it structured like a traditional Metroid world where you're finding upgrades to your suit, to your weaponry, and just something special, and give us that quote-unquote Breath of the Wild moment that a lot of games have had, like the Legend of Zelda series, Super Mario Odyssey, and even Kirby and the Forgotten Land ended up getting that treatment on the Nintendo Switch. And I feel that Metroid needs that in both the gameplay department, the graphics, and make it so that it has a chance to be popular for a new generation of audiences. And speaking about the graphics, we all know that Samus Aran always gets a brand new suit, a brand new look, the same that she did when Metroid Dread came out on the Nintendo Switch. She had a really sleek design, and I wonder what they're going to go for this time. And just like this digital painting that I did, I drew her in her Metroid Other M Varia suit because it looked clean, it looked sleek and nimble, and I just wanted to show off the colors, the primary colors that she uses for her iconic look, which was orange, red, and the green in her visor. So, what did you think of this wish list, my predictions, and let me know down in the comment section below what you want to see when Metroid Prime 4 finally releases on whichever Nintendo system happens to come out. And thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.